what we got here, and this is going to be two parts, and I'll explain in a minute, is my cherished IBM 365XD. It's in pristine condition. Well, you would think. It actually came in pristine condition, like it had been stored in a box in a closet since the day they bought it, but I've had to do some work on it, and most of the damage is probably self-inflicted since I got it, because I do use this laptop quite a bit for retro gaming. This originally came with a CD-ROM. I replaced it with a floppy, but I'm not really happy with my hodgepodge job, and there's some Velcro involved in the tray from the old CD-ROM unit that was in here. I just prefer floppies. It just doesn't make any sense to me, so I'll explain that in a minute, along with other issues going on with this. This is the lid release here, your power button, your audio connectors there, and power connector, port replicator underneath this port. I'm not going to pull it off because I'm always nervous about pulling this off. If this old plastic, it snaps easily. So, and then your PS2 connector, which will let you connect a keyboard or PS2 mouse. I think you need the Y adapter to actually use the keyboard function on these models, but I'm not totally sure. Underneath this handy dandy hatch though, and I will open this one, your VGA port, serial port, parallel port, and this is for the external floppy. I don't have one. Would love to have one, but I don't have one, and I really don't need one because I have one on the front. And I more modeled this after the 365X series, I believe, or C series. And then above here, I'm not really sure what that is. If anybody knows, maybe it worked from IBM or something and know what it is. That's to lock your laptop down. In here you have your PCM CIA cards for your modems, LAN connections, stuff like that, internet, so forth. You put your cards right in there. I believe this is not what you think it is. It's not another IR port. I did miss the IR port's right there. This is actually, I believe, for a phone connection, for a regular dial modem. I don't believe this laptop came with it standard. It might have been an extra added option. I'm not really sure. Again, if you want to make a comment on what this actually is. I did pull this off, and like this panel, it cracked when I tried to pop it off. So I just kind of dab a couple pieces of glue in there, and then of course the hatch release on the other side. And let's go ahead and not waste any more time and open this. And when you open these old laptops, I'm going to warn you on these 365, 755, and these series or these style laptops, put your finger right here when you get the lid open a little bit, and put your other finger on the corner and kind of just tighten it, and then open the screen, because right here is a weak point in the laptop, and I wish I knew there was a mod to fix this. But what ends up happening is this piece of plastic, and the same kind of thing happened with the one in behind it, which is actually 755, is it actually cracks, and I don't know how many times I've re-glued this, along with this other piece on the front that's this thin little piece, which I don't know what IBM was thinking, that I've actually glued it to the actual caddy part, which I can get it apart if I need to, but it's so thin you can't really do anything if you want to swap something out. But I guess the idea was you have either the internal CD-ROM or the floppy drive, and if you did have the CD-ROM, you'd have the external floppy drive if you needed it. And at that point, I think a lot of stuff was changing over. Yes, the screw holes are missing, and I'll explain that in just a second. But first, we're going to power this up. And this is the TFT version, which is the it doesn't have the ghosting or whatever. It's actually a very, very good screen. I'm going to turn this so it faces the camera a little bit, and I'll be a little awkward with the way I'm typing and stuff. And I'm not going to go into detail on this. We'll do this on the second part. But I've tried to do this video multiple times with multiple failures. Yeah, the keys seem to work, but the G and H don't. And when I first started doing the first video, the G key stopped working, then the H key, then this. So I'm hoping it's something related to the keyboard, that maybe dampness. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've restored this as much as I can. I mean, these are all brand new keycaps on this thing, and I mean, there's no wear on them whatsoever, and it just looks great. The other issue I'm having with, I did order a donor laptop. It's a 365C, and it looks like it has the same exact keyboard. It does have the floppy drive I need, so I'll be able to replace that. And I am just hoping that these buttons work, because this is another issue with these keyboards, is the buttons or the track point. It's just one thing about owning retro laptops like this from the 90s. Stuff just goes sometimes, and there's nothing you can do about it except hopefully find a donor laptop. And the prices for these are going ridiculous. A used one can sell upwards of $100, and that's ridiculous to me. I actually had a couple extra spares and I sold them off because I didn't think I would need them, because I didn't plan on doing much more with these ThinkPads. But guess what? Here I am now, and I just had to order another donor laptop, which is the 365C, which I'm hoping everything matches up with what I need, and the keyboard and everything is fully functional, which it seems to be from what I've seen on the auction. But without these keys, I can't really demo this much more than what I've shown already. But this is a very cool laptop. I'm very proud to own it. It's probably one I'll never get rid of, as long as it holds up and as long as nothing goes wrong with it. It does have the 800 by 600 screen TFT, as I mentioned. The problem with that is they say, well, you have to stretch the DOS mode for the 640 by 480, but the scaling actually is not half bad. I see it in the text mode, but in graphics mode, it's very, very unnoticeable. I mean, in all honesty. As I put that away, I'm just going to show real quick in comparison to my 755. You can see that the keyboard and the layout is the same, but this is a true 640 by 480 screen. This is a Duke Nukem 2, which you don't hear much about. You hear Duke Nukem episode 1, 2, and 3, then Duke Nukem 3D, but never Duke Nukem 2. So I thought it was kind of interesting to have that on in the background. That's it for now, and I do live in the Tampa Bay area, so go Bucks!